So I tweeted the other day about these Victorian criminals, these young criminals, who apparently did like home invasions and stuff and like carjackings and all that sort of stuff. You can probably guess the ethnicity. I don't have this confirmed, but I don't think they were like white Australians.
Bigotry.
Yeah, absolutely, bigotry, sure. But as part of their rehabilitation program, the NDIS, now the NDIS in Australia is like the National Disability Insurance Scheme, I think.
Scheme?
Yeah, scheme. Scam!
Is that the theme of today's video, Bering? Have you got scams on the brain?
Yeah, so this is a follow-up, I suppose, from the Somali stuff in America.
It's not a scam.
But anyway, these thugs from Victoria via Africa, I'm just saying that's probably the case, got sent to Queensland to go to all the theme parks that we go to regularly. We go to all the theme parks around our area on a regular basis. We take our daughter. It's her happy place. She has lots of fun.
Yeah, it was an all-inclusive holiday to the Gold Coast.
So anyway, let's have a look. Let's go!
A youth offender who was flown to Queensland on a taxpayer-funded holiday for rehab purposes has been arrested again. Crime reporter Gillian Lantouris has the exclusive details. Jill, what's he accused of?
So, hang on a sec. Just before we get into this, he was sent on a fucking Queensland holiday to go to all the theme parks, and now he's been arrested again.
Jesus, that really rehabilitated him.
Yeah.
Brett, he, now 18 years old, along with 4 others, were arrested and charged over a spate of armed robberies and home invasions in Melbourne's southeast. He was arrested in Hyatt last week and charged with armed robbery as well as unlawful assault against a delivery driver in Brighton on Christmas Day. Now, it was just a few months ago when he and another youth offender were given a trip to the Gold Coast to visit theme parks and go sightseeing. The purpose was to help with their rehabilitation.
That really fucking boils my piss. That was the Superman roller coaster.
Yes, we've been on that.
That's one of my favourite roller coasters. You get on the front of that. That is one of the best roller coasters.
Yeah, it's a launch roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a launch roller coaster. It's not as good as DC Rivals. DC Rivals is the shiznit. But it's fucking fantastic. But it boils my piss that this fuckhead was sent to Queensland and like they were probably on the roller coaster next to me. We go all the time.
Yeah, sitting next to our little daughter.
Yeah.
And break the cycle of offending. They were on a community corrections order at the time, and Victoria's Department of Justice and Community Safety gave them the green light to travel. The National Disability Insurance Agency is believed to have funded the vacation, and this has certainly ruffled some feathers.
A community corrections order from the judge to go to Queensland.
Yeah.
To go to Wet n Wild and do some sightseeing and go on the roller coasters.
Yeah.
Have some fucking popcorn. Get your churros. Rehabilitate a crib.
Yeah. But you know, the other thing is like, is he retarded? Like legitimately, is he, well, what's he doing on the NDIS? The NDIS is the Disability Insurance Scheme.
Yeah.
Being a fucking criminal doesn't make you retarded. I mean, it does in a colloquial way. But you know what I mean? Like, is he autistic or retarded? Is he in a wheelchair? Probably not. He's fucking jacking cars.
Yeah, and have you just set a foundation for all, like...
Have you just set a precedent for all defense lawyers?
Yeah, have you just made it so they can claim autismo for their criminal actions?
Yeah, or is like criminality now a disability? Like, if you're a repeat offender, does that make you fucking disabled? It's like, how does this work?
It's a slippery fucking slope, isn't it?
Youth offenders do not think that there are consequences for their actions here in Victoria. And why would they? How does that stack up? How does that say to them that their actions are not acceptable? It is not how our justice system should operate.
Brett, the NDIA is still investigating where these funds came from, but the offender remains out on bail.
Gillian Lantouris, thank you.
He remains out on bail.
That is the part that fucking pisses me off the most. So he gets an all-inclusive trip to Queensland, goes to all the theme parks, has a lovely time, reoffends, does like a carjacking thing on fucking Christmas Day, and he's out on bail again. Fantastic.
It's a revolving fucking door, our criminal justice system.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Send him on a fucking cruise now? So I found that fucking ridiculous. So the NDIS apparently spends about $48 billion of taxpayer funds per year, right? $48 billion in a country of 27 million.
Wow.
Now, if you look at the number of taxpayers in Australia, I think it works out to about $2,500 per taxpayer is what we contribute to the NDIS. And they're blowing it on this shit, but it's not just this shit. This came out a few years ago. This was fucking wild.
Incredibly, the cost of the National Disability Insurance Scheme is set to reach $100 billion a year within a decade if the Albanese government doesn't start cracking down on waste and rorts. There's plenty of fat to cut because it turns out that taxpayers are even paying for sex workers through the NDIS.
Excuse me?
Okay, so they're getting their fucking rocks off with NDIS money. They're going to brothels, they're getting hookers round.
I'm a professional hooker, okay? I'm sorry. Please don't disparage my profession.
Someone's going to clip that. Someone's going to clip that.
I'm a professional hooker, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a professional hooker, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So yeah, sex workers. How fucked is that?
Some of it's within the rules, would you believe? But here's part of a special investigation by our own Jonathan Lee, uncovering a sex worker wrought outside of the rules.
We can't show you Stephanie's face, but every few months she pays Samuel to visit, to do what consenting adults do and maybe stay for the weekend.
It shouldn't be, stigmatised like the NDIS was about choice, quality and control of the person's life. To live independently, to be able to access the community, to be able to live life to the fullest extent that the person could live.
I'm sorry, no, lady. The NDIS should not be there to help you live life to the fullest extent that you're able to live. That's ridiculous. It should be there as a fucking prop up so you're not in the streets kind of thing. It should be like for therapies and stuff to help you get better.
But that's the thing, Bering. Remember that show we watched? The Sex Island of the Virgin Island thing?
The Sex Island, Virgin Island,
yeah. They were all highly trained professional
hookers.
Yeah, they call them sex therapists.
Yes, but you know what the other thing I thought of when I watched this? Look, I don't want to be mean to this retarded woman, but how the fuck would that work? Like, just imagine you're the male hooker who gets called around.
Oh, a gigolo.
Yeah, and she's like, let's keep it on, sexy baby.
Mary!
You know what I mean? Like, how would that work physically? Like I said, imagine you're the guy and imagine a certain part of your body has to perform in order to make stuff happen. How would that fucking work? Like, has he just got like an incredibly vivid spank bank?
Well, I don't want to sound mean, but from the sounds of her tongue is really like a lazy sort of jostling kind of tongue.
Okay, I see where you go.
Maybe the skills outweigh the other stuff.
Oh, man. Oh, fucking hell.
Okay, I think we've hit a new low, Barry.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Sex therapist.
Yes, sex therapist. So anyway, in the spirit of the whole Somali fiasco in America, this guy Pete Z on Twitter says, over the past few days, Drew Pavlo and I have been working on an investigation expose into NDIS fraud in Australia. Let's just say it's been absolutely crazy. Can't wait to show you what we've uncovered, blah, blah, blah. So Drew Pavlo has some fucking clout. I don't know who this Pete Z guy is, but Drew Pavlo has some fucking, like, he's got some Twitter followers, right?
He's got all the flags.
Yeah, he's got all the flags. But I've only ever seen him in one thing, and I gotta say, it was pretty cringe. Mm-hmm. He interviewed, Destiny? He interviewed Destiny's son. Now, I don't know if you know about Destiny's son, but Destiny's son is a full-on snazzy.
Destiny's child.
Destiny's child, yeah. He's a full-on snazzy, like Hale mustache man fucking snazzy, right?
He's the product of an uber leftist.
Yeah.
I'm debating Destiny's son. We're going to be talking about Hitler. We're going to be talking about World War II. It's a sad thing. I'm a fan of Destiny. Unfortunately, his son seems to have been radicalized a bit. I'm going to try to be nice. He's a young guy. like 14 or 15. So obviously I'm not going to be trying to do some epic ownage or anything. I'm going to try to talk to him as a wayward young soul.
So Drew Pavlo had him on to like tell him how much of a bad boy he is and he shouldn't be a fucking snazzy. And Destiny's child he's like 15 years old, and Drew Pavlo had to like two-up him, had to get his friend. Now Drew Pavlo's like fucking 30 or something, I don't know. But he had to like double team this kid. That doesn't
goes
sound
in.
right. Yeah.
That stays in the video.
He had to fucking...
That is the best tongue slip I've ever heard.
He had to gang up on this snazzy kid and get his mate involved. I thought that was fairly pathetic. But anyway, Drew Pavlo says, if you thought Minnesota's Somali fraud rings were bad, wait until you hear about Australia's disability insurance program. It's enough to almost completely collapse our country. The NDIS integrity chief told the Australian Senate that 90% of plan managers involved in the $50 billion program showed signs of fraud, and that the entire Australian justice system would collapse if they tried to prosecute it. They received more than 7,000 fraud tip-offs a year and only prosecute around 15 people, meaning that 99.8% of allegations of fraud go unprosecuted within the NDIS.
That is such bullshit. And meanwhile, they've just cut off funding for level 2 autistic kids.
Yeah.
So they can't get therapies anymore.
That's
but
right.
some people can get their Johnsons sucked off by sex professionals.
So he follows that up with a long tweet basically saying that he's been filming with this Pete Z guy and they went to Lakemba.
What?
Lakemba is the suburb in Sydney where all the radical imams live.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I thought you were doing Mexican for a second.
No, that was Muslim.
Right.
So apparently they went there, and in a 5-kilometre radius, there were 1,300 NDIS businesses.
Oh, shit.
Not recipients, not applicants, not fucking enrollments, but businesses. So apparently that equates to one NDIS business per 13 residents of Lakemba.
Jesus.
Something has to happen here. We have to have a massive shake-up. I hope that Drew Pavlo and his mate expose this shit. I thought Drew was pretty cringe from that one thing I've seen, but I hope he does a good job here. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Just a short video. Visit Sugar Tits. She has a channel.
Yes, I do.
And we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Recession, session. Give me better times, give me better times. Recession, session.